What's going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about all you need to know about the Winston-Salem allergies and the weather. Let's get into the video. My name is Ramon Lomeli. I'm a local realtor and the team leader of the Smart Move Group brokered by eXp Realty here in Winston-Salem, as well as all the surrounding areas. And today I wanted to make this video because spring is right around the corner, right? And I want you to know exactly what you can expect when you get to the Winston-Salem area when it relates to allergies and the weather. Because trust me, Winston-Salem is such a wonderful, beautiful place to live, and there's so many things to do and so many reasons why people live here, pros, and obviously we do have some cons. And I think you're gonna understand a little bit more about that when we get into the video. But before we jump in, I just wanted to remind you that if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything relating to the Winston-Salem area, feel free to reach out. You can call me, you can shoot me a text. The number on the screen is my personal cell phone number. It goes to no one else but myself. You're gonna get me. But yeah, if you have any questions, if you'd like to schedule a free Zoom consultation or anything at all I can do to help, feel free to reach out. I'm always available. Also, don't forget about that free relocation guide that I made for you guys. My full contact info is in the About section, as well as all of my social media accounts in case you want to be my friend on Facebook, Instagram, or watch my stupid videos I do on TikTok. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is going to be the allergies in the Winston-Salem, North Carolina area. So there are so many different types of allergies, obviously, and different allergies actually peak in different seasons in the Winston-Salem area. And because the weather is so mild in the Winston-Salem area, different allergy seasons can start at different parts of the year. For example, because the winters here in North Carolina are so mild, the allergy season can begin as early as late February or March. And unfortunately, this year it looks like it's going to be a late February start to the allergy season. And the reason I say that is because I was just out showing homes earlier today, and today was the first day that I actually noticed that the flowers are starting to bloom, the trees are starting to bloom, and you can kind of smell the pollen coming off the trees a little bit, and you're starting to see a little bit of, you know, that little coating that the pollen leaves on your car. So it's about to start, and it's going to get bad real soon here. So according to the Asthma Association of America, Winston-Salem was ranked as number 54 as one of the top 100 cities to live in with allergies. So that's high praise right there. Being ranked number 54 out of the top 100 cities to live in with allergies, that's high praise right there. So that's pretty good. So in the spring season in Winston-Salem, the trees produce a lot of pollen and release a lot of pollen, mostly I would say peaking in April. We also have grass allergies, and those peak in May. And unfortunately, the weeds allergies peak in September. Now, me personally, I mean, you may be a little bit more sensitive to the allergies than I am, but for me, the spring is really when I notice it, when I feel myself getting congested and sneezing and having a little bit of a headache or a cough. And I will say it has gotten better over the years. I don't know if that's just a mental thing or if my body's growing accustomed to it. Maybe the pollen hasn't been as strong or there hasn't been as much of it as there used to be. But I feel like every year that goes by, my body gets accustomed to it a little bit more, and I don't feel it as much. But honestly, like I said, you may be more sensitive than I am, but I don't feel the weeds allergies or the grass allergies myself. It just doesn't affect me. I've said this on this channel before, but it's really comical in the springtime. You'll go out to your car as soon as you just washed it, and you'll be able to write your name not in the dirt but in the actual pollen that has collected in just a few hours on your car. Usually it's going to be like a light green or a yellow pollen. So in the months of like late March, April, and maybe even May, don't even bother washing your car. It's going to be full of pollen unless you park it in the garage at home and you park it in the garage at work. There are some lifelong residents here in the Winston-Salem area that still complain about the allergies, but I definitely noticed that a lot of people that have moved here recently have told me that, you know, they definitely did notice a difference in the allergies here in the Winston-Salem area versus where they're coming from. All right, guys, and now we're going to talk about the weather in the Winston-Salem area here of North Carolina. So the weather in North Carolina is really funny. If you do yourself a favor, go on Google or Bing or whatever search engine you use and type in North Carolina weather meme. You're going to find so many hilarious memes that are so funny. Let me take a second and share my favorite one with you. I'm going to put it up on the screen, but basically it goes like this. There are 12 seasons in North Carolina: winter, full spring, second winter, third winter, the pollinating, actual spring, summer, hell's front porch, false fall, second summer, and then actual fall. And it's so funny, but the reason for this meme is because it kind of feels like it's really that way. Let me break it down for you. So here on the ground, we just had 2 or 3 days where it was 65, 70 degrees, and then now today it's about 45 outside. By the way, I'm recording this on the 26th day of February 2023, and then in the summertime it'll be completely overcast and it's about to thunderstorm, and then it does start raining really hard, and then an hour later it's completely sunshine and a beautiful sunny day. And then in the fall, it'll get randomly hot for a couple days for no reason. And then again, it'll feel like the fall, the crisp air, which I love the fall season in North Carolina, by the way. And then even in the winter, we'll have some days where it feels like spring and fall, and then it goes right back to winter. We'll have days where it looks like it's gonna snow or it's gonna be icy rain or something like that. And then we're gonna have a day in the 60s or 70s. But overall, the weather here in Winston-Salem is amazing. I love it. It's very mild, and I feel like a broken record. I feel like I've said this on every third video, but I really, really mean it. It never gets too extremely hot in the summer, and it never gets too cold in the winter. So like I said, it's the end of February right now, and if I recall correctly, this winter, the coldest it got was like 30. It didn't even get into the 20s this year, and it has before in previous years, but for some reason this year just didn't. Also, I'm kind of bummed so far we did not get any snow this year. Now there's still a little bit of time left, but it's not looking good for the snow. And then in the summertime, it does get hot. I mean, don't get me wrong, but we're talking 80s and 90s. We're not talking 115 degrees like it's Death Valley or something. It's not that hot. So it'll stay hot for 3-4 days, but you can almost bet that as soon as we've had 2-3 days of consecutive high heat here in the Winston-Salem area, or what we consider high heat here, we're gonna have a thunderstorm that's gonna cool the temperatures down. But because of the rain and now it's hot again, it's gonna be really muggy. So that's one of the downsides of the weather in the Winston-Salem area, that it does get muggy. But like I said, I do love that in Winston-Salem, we do get to see all 4 seasons, or all 12 seasons. So according to the NOAA, our hottest months here in North Carolina are gonna be June, July, and August. Makes sense. And on average in these months, the temperature is gonna be in the low to the mid 80s. And like I said, it will creep up into the 90s, maybe even the high 90s, but it's rare. I mean, it makes the news when we get temperatures over 3 digits. And also, we'll get some cool days in there. We'll get some 60s, we'll get some 70s. So the summertime in North Carolina is hot, but it's definitely bearable. And also, June, July, and August happen to be our rainiest months, and we usually see 5 to 7 days of rain per month in those months of June, July, and August. And it kind of adds up, 5 to 7 rainy days, because after 2 or 3 days of being hot, you'll get a thunderstorm, and then next day it starts warming up again, then it'll get real hot, then we get another thunderstorm. Next, we're gonna talk about our coldest months here in the Winston-Salem area, that we're actually just leaving those months right now. But I just want to remind you, if you're getting any kind of value out of this video, I would really appreciate it if you go down there, hit that like button, leave me a comment, but above all, subscribe. Those kinds of things keep me motivated to keep pumping out these videos for you. And today's video is sponsored by my free relocation guide. It's in the about section. If you want to know about the Winston-Salem area, it's completely free to you guys. Feel free to click on it, check it out, let me know what you think. So also, according to the NOAA, December, January, and February are going to be our coldest months here in the Winston-Salem area, and I agree with that. And in case you're wondering, we kind of touched on this earlier, we do get snow here, but it's not every year. It's not like consistently snow. There's definitely been stretches of like 2 to 3 years where we don't get snow, and this year happens to be one of those where we're leaving winter and it hasn't snowed yet. I don't think it's going to snow. Actually, a couple weeks ago, there was rumblings that it might snow. People were getting kind of excited and going out and buying all the milk and all the bread from the grocery store, but then it didn't even snow. And the years that we have gotten snow, I mean, it's, some people laugh at us. I've got some clients from Colorado right now, and they kind of laugh at the snow that we do get here in the Winston-Salem area. Like I said, it's 2, 3, maybe 4 inches, sometimes 5 inches at most. And it's just enough snow to, like, you know, you see it, it's beautiful on the ground, your dogs get to play around in it, you make a couple snowmen, throw some snowballs at your kids. But the next day it starts to melt, and by the second day it's completely gone. I mean, they will cancel school, some jobs will close down, but it's usually for a day, maybe 2 days, but that's about it really. You're not gonna be snowed in, you're not gonna have, you know, a week off of work, or you're not gonna have to put chains on your tires to drive through the snow usually. And I don't know if this is bad or not, but I don't even bother shoveling my driveway when it snows, because, and some of my neighbors do, good on them, but I'm like, I could do that, or I could just wait 2 days and it's gonna be completely gone, so why bother, in my opinion? Or maybe I'm just a horrible homeowner, I don't know. My neighbors are definitely doing better than I am. But I think by far the biggest threat to us Winston-Salem people, Winston-Salemites, Winston-Salem, whatever you call us, is probably gonna be ice. And there's a couple different types of ice that I wanna talk to you about. So number one is gonna be black ice, like on the roads. If you're not familiar with black ice, it's when the temperatures drop, maybe it rained before, or maybe snow is melting, and then the temperatures freeze overnight. So the next morning, you're headed to work with your cup of coffee. You don't see the black ice because it's obviously see-through. It looks like it's just the road. And if for whatever reason you tap on your brakes, your car might lose control and you might end up on a ditch, or you might end up, you know, in a head-on collision with another car, or wrapped around a tree. So it's very dangerous. So there's always all these cautions, and you know, just be aware more than anything that if the temperatures freeze and the roads are wet in the slightest, or could have been wet, be careful. There could be black ice there. It actually forms on bridges a lot quicker too. So if you're heading towards like Lake Norman or going over a bridge of any kind, definitely be careful. But also, whenever we do get like a little bit of an ice storm, or we get some kind of rain and then it freezes overnight, something that almost always happens is you're gonna get power lines down, you're gonna get trees falling over, you're gonna get, you know, trees falling on houses, trees falling on the road, trees falling on cars. You're gonna get all kinds of stuff because we're very wooded here in the Winston-Salem area. There's a lot of trees here. And so, you know, the weight of the ice makes either a big branch fall off or sometimes a whole tree topples over because of that weight. And like I said, unfortunately, a tree falls over, knocks down some power lines. Now, your neighborhood may not have power for a day or two. They're usually pretty quick to repair those kinds of things, but it's something that could happen. Another con, we kind of talked about it earlier, but it's the weather's unpredictable. It's gonna be cold, then it's hot, then the next day it's cold again. It's kind of random the way it works. Going back to that meme we were talking about earlier. So like if it's hot yesterday, I won't bother bringing a jacket, but then I need it the next day, and it's just like, I should just keep a jacket in the car. But anyway, it's kind of unpredictable with both with the temperatures fluctuating from hot to cold and also with, you know, dry to rainy. And I mean, it could look like a clear blue sky and then in 30 minutes, thunderstorm. Also, we talked about this a little bit, the North Carolina summers, or the Winston-Salem summers, I should say, humid and muggy. I mean, is that an interchangeable word? I think it is, but anyway, it's humid. It's gonna feel like the air is harder to breathe when you get here before you get used to it. You're gonna walk out of your house in the summertime, it's gonna feel like you start sweating instantly for no reason. You're gonna feel like you wanna go back in and take a shower. AC in North Carolina is 100% a must, but in my opinion, all of those negatives are outweighed by the positives of living in the Winston-Salem area. To find out more about that, go to my channel, look at any one of those videos I've made. Before you leave, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next video.